Imagine if we could feel smart, confident, unshakable no matter what might be going on in our life. So we think, oh, I can read more books, I'll start playing Sudoku on my phone instead of scrolling on social media. I'll play more word games. Don't get me wrong, mental activities like these can be important because they sharpen our logic, they sharpen our outer processes when we're out in the world. But this is the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what we're capable of. Upon understanding that our external world is a reflection of our internal world, our infinitely potent power is derived from the other side of this: inner silence, presence. See, there are saints and sages in the East, devotees of meditation and inner learning, that can literally tune into the minds of other people. They are radiating with so much love that merely being in their vicinity pulls you into a new headspace, a new dimension. And do you think these masters transcended themselves by reading more newsletters and playing word games? This doesn't mean being lazy, it means not forcing things. It means being present with the flow of life instead of thinking your way through it. So presence is when your mental chatter stops and you are enveloped by immense focus and love. Instead of more information and activities, more noise, the focus is directed instead towards the opposite: inner silence. The result of this is a high vibrational state of being with energies of love, joy, peace. Of course, I have infinite more work to do on this. I am nowhere near an enlightened master, but I think hearing from someone who is very similar to you can be helpful, so I at least want to contribute what I can here. Also, saying this stuff out loud helps me learn too. Naturally, this makes it very important to be present. It means inner silence should be our priority because that reflects our ideal external world. But now this is very hard to do because we constantly have so many thoughts. What job should I get? What business do I want to start? How do I make more money? Should I get these pair of shorts? You know, many of us follow these thoughts and don't even realize it, and this basically leaves us in a dream state, kind of gravitating towards low consciousness, low vibration emotions, preventing us from being in control of our lives. And so how do we start to access this high vibration state of presence without relying on more apps and newsletters? I'll tell you, we need to explore the other side, the inner silence, our inner world. And in order to access this which is within us, presence and awareness are going to go hand in hand. If we are not self-aware, we cannot be present. So awareness is the action and presence is that state. If we can start to conquer our inner world through presence and awareness, we can experience high vibrational energies and emotions no matter what we might be going through in our external world, and thereby reach our full potential. In terms of the awareness here, we need to understand that we are more emotional creatures than we may realize. So if we want to access our true being, we need to constantly be aware of our emotions and our thinking, and as we become aware of our emotional states, we can start to detach from the chaos. This does not mean acting on our emotions when they arise, but being detached from our emotions. If we get sucked into these emotions and follow them, we aren't truly present. Like if you feel jealous of someone and then start bad-mouthing them in your next conversation, for example, you are not only holding yourself back from being truly present, but you're limiting yourself from the infinite power that presence holds. For example, have you ever been in an emotional state and then you cleared out your room and organized things and felt a sense of liberation, a sense of being grounded? Decluttering in the outer world leads to calmness in our inner world. As above, so below. It would help to clear the noise around us in the first place. Here is where it's important to start expressing the chaos in your mind and allowing it to come to the surface. Last year, I got really stuck in life because I was in a big city and started looking at what other people were doing. And next thing I knew, I had begun to bury a lot of my feelings because I was so focused on being like other people and doing what seemed to be the logical thing. Eventually, I decided I needed to confront my feelings before I turned into a bitter person 10 years later filled with jealousy and hatred. Now, there are many ways to express what is in your mind, but most people find that an effective and easy way to do it is simply journaling. That's what I started doing. I just wrote out my thoughts, expressing them. What was I thinking? What are my feelings? Where do I feel these feelings physically? And over time, I started to get really minute with the details here, and I would even record myself speaking my diary entries. I was just trying to bring my internal feelings into the external world so that I could see them and understand what was going on within me. As cringy as all of these entries are, they allowed me to start revealing my true self. If I had just kept my emotions buried and continued prioritizing the so-called logical things to do like I was, I would have repressed my authentic self and limited my potential. So if your true self is buried under emotions that you're pushing under the rug, you are blocking yourself from new levels of consciousness. You do not need to stay in this matrix of endless cycling thoughts. If you happen to be somewhat new to journaling or you don't know how to benefit from it, one way you can start is by writing out your current feelings. For example, maybe you feel anxiety because you have a ton of homework to do. Then, as you start to feel closure as you write that out, you can then write out your ideal feelings. For example, maybe you would love to feel unburdened, relaxed, secure. And so in this way, journaling is essentially a tool to bring you closer to your ideal reality. So now that you've begun to declutter and dissolve many of your thoughts through awareness, practicing presence is the next component. Presence means soaking in every moment and not being drowned out by all the noise around us. This is really the state of inner silence. And yes, the key to practicing that is meditation. And one way to practice meditation is to set aside a block of time. You can start with 10 minutes if you're new, and over time you can start going for hours. But during this time, the mission is focus. You can focus on your breath, a spot on the wall, it doesn't matter. Journaling is helpful because it reduces many of our thoughts in the first place, but when you meditate, you'll have a lot of thoughts come up. But do not give in. Meditation is the key to winning those battles. It's about honing in on your focus. It's not about stopping our thoughts, it's about detaching ourselves from getting sucked into them, thereby realizing that we are something more than all of that chatter. And especially in the beginning, you might feel disheartened by how challenging this is. Most of us cannot keep our attention on something for more than 20 seconds. But if you've watched this far, you care enough about reaching your full potential in order to try. Now, meditation doesn't need to only be a block of time. It can be done constantly, whether you're washing the dishes, going for a walk, anything. Remember that the goal of all of this is to have a good life, reach our full potential, live a life of high vibrational energies no matter what may be going on in our external world. In order to do that, we want to devote ourselves entirely to everything we do. For example, as I speak these words, I'm not thinking, I'm soaking up every moment as if it could be my last. And to ensure that I do this more often, I find it helpful to just check in with myself no matter what I'm doing. This means to self-observe your thinking and emotions as you function in the world. If we don't check in, if we don't do self-observation, we may remain in a low vibration state without catching ourselves. So all this means is to check in with yourself and ask yourself, what am I thinking? Why am I thinking these thoughts? And you don't have to have specific responses to these questions. This simple practice of self-awareness just helps you to be more present in the moment. I hope I've explained the duality that exists between looking inward versus looking outward, and how to actually go about conquering your internal world. You are in charge. This has to be done by you. That's what makes the outer world so tempting, is that it gives us so many things to chase. Especially this day and age, you will be around a lot of noise. There will be people telling you you should go to college, these are the business models that are hot right now, you should be partying more, or whatever it is. My point in this video is to encourage you to not give in to this. Wake up from all of these temptations and try to understand and be present with yourself. Remember, what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? If we never take our inner reflection seriously, it doesn't matter what our external world looks like. Alright, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out.